Here are the top 10 deepest points of Earth. Number 10. Under the Denman Glacier. Glaciologists have made an exciting discovery as they recently found what they believe to be the deepest point on land. They were conducting research in Antarctica under the Denman Glacier when they found a trough that goes 2 miles below sea level. Oddly enough, the trough is not filled with water as one might expect, but is instead comprised of flowing ice. The discovery was made using a new technology called bed machine. They discovered the depth of the trough while they were mapping out the area. They were surprised by the depth of the trough, and further investigations are still underway. Number 9. The Tagebau Hambach Mine. In Elsdorf, Germany, is a mine so deep it has claimed a world record. The Tagebau Hambach Mine is the world's deepest open mine. The Tagebau Hambach Mine is an impressive 961 feet below sea level. The mine is an open lignite mine and is a total of 1,213 feet deep. The mine uses the biggest excavator in the world to dig out 24,000 tons of lignite per day. The mine is so deep that it has become a tourist attraction, as it not only is the deepest open mine in the world, it also boasts the Sofia Nohi, which is the biggest artificial hill in the world. In fact, at 990 feet above sea level, the hill is as high as the mine is deep. Number 8. The Yarlung Sangpo. The Grand Canyon in Arizona is inarguably one of the most famous canyons in the world. But surprisingly, it's not the deepest. The deepest canyon in the world is actually the Yarlung Sangpo Grand Canyon in China, also known as the Brahmaputra Canyon or the Sangpo Gorge. The Yarlung Grand Canyon runs along the Yarlung Sangpo River in the Tibet Autonomous Region. The canyon has an overall depth of 7,440 feet, but in its deepest place, it's 19,714 feet, which trumps the deepest part of the Grand Canyon. It is also very long, at 150 miles, making it not just the deepest canyon in the world, but also one of the longest. Number 7. Lake Baikal. Lake Baikal, also known as the Pearl of Siberia, is a popular tourist destination. Boasting crystal clear waters, the lake in Russia is a hotspot for water enthusiasts. However, the lake is also a hotspot for scientists, as Lake Baikal is currently the deepest lake in the world. The lake boasts a depth of 5,387 feet, although that depth has not been physically reached by man. The Russian Academy of Science has tried several times to reach the bottom with submersible crafts, but the furthest down they have reached is 5,180 feet. Divers, too, have tried their luck at Lake Baikal, but none have, as of yet, touched the bottom of this deep lake. Number 6. The Zakatone Sinkhole. Some sinkholes are caused by humans, but some occur naturally. The Zakatone sinkhole is a naturally occurring sinkhole, and it's the deepest sinkhole in the world. The sinkhole formed sometime during the Pleistocene era, and it's full of water. The magnificent sinkhole extends 1,112 feet below sea level. In fact, the sinkhole is so deep that no human has, as of yet, reached the bottom. The full depth of the sinkhole has been measured by a robot, as the furthest down any human has gone is 925 feet. A pair of divers accomplished this feat in 1994, but sadly, one of the divers, Sheikh Exley, passed away from high-pressure nervous syndrome while attempting to reach the bottom. Number 5. The Milwaukee Deep. Some of the deepest points on Earth are in the ocean, with each ocean boasting its own record-breaking trench. The Milwaukee Trench is the deepest trench in the Atlantic Ocean, with an unsurpassed depth of 28,680 feet. The Milwaukee Deep is part of the Puerto Rico Trench that stretches along the border that separates the Caribbean Sea from the Atlantic Ocean. The Milwaukee Deep was named after the ship that discovered it, the USS Milwaukee, on February 14, 1939. The deep sits along a fault line, which raises concerns for geologists. Should an earthquake occur, it would cause a devastating tsunami. So not only is the Milwaukee Deep extremely deep, it's also potentially dangerous. Number 4. The Veronia Cave. The Veronia Cave, also known as the Krubera Cave, is not only one of the deepest points on Earth, it's the deepest cave in the world. The Veronia Cave plunges an unbelievable 7,208 feet down. The cave was originally named the Krubera Cave after Russian geographer Alexander Krubera, but in the 1960s, the name was changed to the Veronia Cave, which translates as the Cave of Crows, as the cave is famous for the murder of crows that commonly gather there. The cave, though, is also famous for the yearly expeditions that take place there. Members of several nations, including Britain, Spain, the Ukraine, and France, annually attempt to reach the bottom of the cave. The real depth of the cave is not yet known, and although the Veronia Cave is the deepest cave in the world, no one knows for sure exactly how deep this cave actually is. Number 3. The Mponeng Mine in South Africa. The Mponeng Mine is located in the Gauteng province of South Africa. It is an extremely successful gold mine and has been called one of the most substantial gold mines in the world. But it takes a lot of digging to find that much gold, which is why the Mponeng Mine is the deepest mine from ground level in the world. The mine goes 2.5 miles below the surface, and it takes over an hour to get from the surface to the bottom of the mine. The mine excavates more than 5,400 tons of rock every day, and the mine is actually comprised of 2 gold reefs. Surprisingly, the mine only needs to extract 10 grams of gold per ton to remain profitable, as the price of gold per gram is fairly high. But temperatures in the mine are a constant struggle, as the rock in the mine can reach temperatures of 151 degrees Fahrenheit, so the mine is constantly pumped full of underground slurry ice to keep the tunnels cool. Number 2. The Mariana Trench. The Pacific Ocean is home to the 5 deepest trenches in the world, all of which are more than 30,000 feet deep. But the first place, as far as depth goes, belongs to the famous Mariana Trench. The Mariana Trench is 35,994 feet deep, and it is the uncontested deepest trench in the world. As such, it has sparked the imagination of many, as people wonder what lurks in the depths of this amazing trench. In fact, the fascination with the trench runs so deep that 2 famous people embarked in a heated competition to reach the floor first. Entrepreneur Richard Branson and film director James Cameron both engaged in a battle to be the first person to touch ground at the bottom of the trench. Cameron was the victor in March 2012 when his torpedo submarine was successful in reaching the bottom. It took the sub just over 2 hours to reach the bottom, and when it did, it took a sample of the trench floor. But just because someone has descended into the depths of the trench does not mean that everything about the trench is known. The Mariana Trench still holds many secrets, as new and unusual life forms are constantly being discovered. It is one of the most explored regions of any ocean in the world. Number 1. The Kola Super Deep Borehole. The Kola Super Deep Borehole is aptly named, as it's currently the deepest place on Earth. But the borehole is so deep, it can't be accessed by humans. The Kola Super Deep Borehole is 40,230 feet underground. Needless to say, it took a very long time to drill a hole this deep. Drilling began in 1970 and didn't stop until 1992. The original goal of the project was to reach a depth of 49,000 feet, but the heat in the Earth's crust became a problem. Scientists were surprised by the heat, which reached a sweltering 356 degrees Fahrenheit at the current depth. If they had continued to drill, the heat would have reached 572 degrees Fahrenheit, and that temperature was just too much for the drill to withstand. At 572 degrees, the drill would either stop working or completely melt, so they had to be satisfied with 40,230 feet. The Kola Super Deep Borehole is so deep that it extends a third of a way through the Earth's crust. And although it is not technically the longest borehole, that title belongs to the Odoptu OP11 well at 40,502 feet, The Kola Super Deep Borehole is the deepest hole below the surface of the Earth, which is why the Kola Super Deep Borehole has drilled its way into the top spot on this list of top 10 deepest points on Earth.